very quickly. Right, let's see if there's space up here to do a little walk around. I think as it's Easter Sunday, it's going to be quite busy. We'll have a look. Oh, busy in there. Wouldn't it? Right, okay, let's have a little walk around, give you a few statistics, nothing too in depth. So this is a KTM 1290R Superduke Generation 2. This is the last of the Gen 2. They had a little bit of a, what do you call it, facelift. I think the only difference was colour scheme, and I believe they changed something of the something on here was changed. I'm not sure what, the layout of some fashion, nothing major. Other than that, it's the same as the one prior to that. I think the Gen 2, the original Gen 2, didn't have the TFT display either. So, obviously they don't make this anymore, so if you want one, you're looking at second hand. In the UK, well, they're kind of holding their value quite well. A lot of that probably has to do with COVID. Second-hand prices of all vehicles, motorbikes and cars and vans, everything has gone through the roof at the moment. So this is not even a year old. I picked this up in I think it was June, July last year, so it's coming on to a year old, but you're looking at sort of 10-11 grand for something like this, there or thereabouts, depending on the mileage and whatever bolt-ons it comes with, whatever optional extras the owner has put on it. This from stock, the things that have changed, I've put an HP course exhaust on it, Puig sliders, Evotech radiator grille, Puig sliders there, TFT cover. I have no idea what the name is. I can't remember what the name is. You can see it there. Some Puig mirrors. I put a power parts comfort seat. What else have I put on it? Nothing. There are a few other things that I do want to get at some stage, but that's about it really. So, as I say, you're probably looking about anything from 9 to 12 grand if you're in the UK. The bike itself, 1301cc V-twin, Euro 4. The Gen 3 is Euro 5, I believe. 177 brake horsepower, 141 newton meters of torque, estimated top speed of around 160. I wouldn't know, obviously. 6-speed chain drive. It's saying here average estimated 35 miles per gallon. Don't know, don't care, to be perfectly honest. Tank size 18 litres, which gives you roughly 160 miles to a tank. Obviously that depends on how you ride it, doesn't it? Reserve capacity 24 miles. Yeah, I'll probably go with that. when the reserve light comes on, you want to get to a petrol station ASAP. The part that I love about this bike, it's obviously a tubular trellis frame. The Gen2 doesn't have the rear subframe like that anymore. The diehards love and I do, I love the style of the frame, which kind of goes in the Gen2. Front suspension WP, which is KTM sister company, fully adjustable. The rear suspension is a WP, adjustable. Front brakes, two 320mm discs with Brembo calipers, which are lush. They really do work, they are amazing. The rear is also a Brembo. Front tyre 120/70, rear 190/55. This came with Metzler's, which, you know, I'm not a knee down kind of guy, as you can probably tell by the chicken strips, but they certainly provide enough grip for me. Now, seat height 835. It's probably about 837 with this Power Parts seat. It is a little bit bigger. It's not ideal for me. We'll go through that in a minute in the top 5 tips. Dry weight 189 kilogram. So once you've got, is that dry weight 189? I'm gonna have to check that. I think that's probably more of a wet weight. I'll double check that and put it up on the screen. It's not a light bike, but it's not a heavy bike. It's somewhere in between. But as I mentioned earlier on, it is, I feel, either the rake is a bit short, or it feels like a smaller bike. It feels, how do I put it? It feels like a smaller bike than it is. The turning corner certainly doesn't help. The lack of turning circle at slower speeds, so that's something you definitely need to watch out for. Rider aids, so ABS, cornering ABS. Rider modes are rain mode, street mode and sport mode. Traction control, it's got anti-wheelie. It's got lots of aids there to help you get used to it. When I got the bike as new, you have to run it in for 500 miles, and for a good portion of that I had it in rain mode, just to kind of get used to it. And that rain mode reduces the power output, so it gives you time to get used to the power. But obviously you've still got ridiculously fast acceleration in rain mode, so you need to be careful. What else have we got? That's about it, I think. Right, it's probably best we did top 5 tips, isn't it? Right, so top 5 tips for the KTM 1290R Superduke. Number 1, seat height 835mm. So I'm 5'10"ish, there or thereabouts. When I talk about these seat heights, or my height, it's not so much about my height, it's more about your leg length, isn't it? So I don't know what mine is. Perhaps if I measured it, it would help you. So here we are. For the sake of this, I'm 5'10". As you can see, I'm on tiptoes. I'm not on tippy toes, but I'm on tiptoes. And I'm 5'10". The seat is actually quite wide if I compare it to other bikes, so that doesn't help. It's okay, don't get me wrong, I'm not sort of up here and struggling, but I'm not flat-footed by any stretch of the imagination. So you need to determine that on your height, because for me, as a new rider, the most important thing above everything else is the seat height and how much control you've got of the bike when it's at stationary or coming to a stop, slow manoeuvring, slow riding. Certainly in the UK, our roads have a lot of camber, so with newer riders you can tend to get your feet wrong when you come to a stop. But what I mean is if you're on a road with a lot of camber and you come to a stop, you should be putting your right foot down, but you're kind of used to putting your left foot down, and that's where the camber is, and then the next thing you know you're on your arse. So if the bike you're riding is nice and low, you might not come a cropper, whereas if you're already on a bike that you're on tiptoes and you have to come to a stop on a road with bad camber and you put the wrong foot down, you're going down. Hence why I'd say seat height is the most important. So 835. Number 2, bike weight 189. It's not the heaviest bike out there by any stretch of the imagination, but it's compact, so it's a little stocky bike, so it is a little bit deceiving. And then once you've got yourself on it and a tank full of fuel, engine oil, coolant, etc., it's well over 189, but manageable. Number 3, bike power. Well, it's the beast. It's 177 brake horsepower. It's ridiculously powerful. It's not a sports bike, you know, it's not a 200 plus horsepower bike, but it's still a very, very, very powerful bike. Very powerful bike. And the way it delivers it as well adds to that, with all the electronics and the fact that it's a big V twin. It delivers that power incredibly fast, but it's also manageable. I've yet to do a review of the 990 Superduke I have, and these two bikes are chalk and cheese. They're the same company, the same bike, but the way the 990 gives you that power is much more uncontrollable than this. This thing has, fortunately, all the electronics and the way it's ride by wire, so it delivers the power dependent on how well you use this. So it is manageable, but at the same time you have to be aware you can get in trouble very, very quickly. That's kind of all I should say on that, really. Number 4, rider aids. So it's full of rider aids. The 3 rider modes: rain, sport and street. I keep mine in street mode. That's just the default setting. I haven't put it in, I've put it in sport mode a couple of times. I didn't really notice a huge amount of difference because I'm not that type of rider. I'm not redlining it all the time. I'm not looking for the speed all the time. If you're an experienced rider and like the speed, then you will notice a difference in sport mode, but street mode is the standard. I'm happy with that. If you're uncomfortable, or if it is raining or you're getting used to it, then you put it in rain mode. It reduces the power and that gives you time to get confidence and get used to the bike. Traction control, ABS, cornering ABS. There's plenty of things to help you, but at the same time, you know, people kind of think that ABS and cornering ABS are going to stop bad things happening. They're not. They'll just help you, but I'd rather have them than not have them. Number 5, rider position. Okay, I'll almost go as far as saying, for me, for my height, this is the perfect rider position for me. It's ridiculously comfortable. It's an upright position. The bars are the perfect width for me. There's no pressure on your wrists. You're not squished too far into the tank. That is helped by this comfort seat, because it is very grippy. If I compare this to the 990 saddle, which is ridiculous, it might as well be an ice rink, it's so slippery, so you always end up being squashed there, and it's very uncomfortable. I will say though, if you're a taller person, the foot pegs might be a little bit high up for you. I have noticed on longer journeys, my legs are, whatever the degrees of the angle, are a bit, not squashed, but you can feel your legs getting a bit cramped. So if you're taller, you need to consider that. I'm not sure whether, I don't think these pegs can be lowered. You can probably get some aftermarket ones, but that's something else for you to consider if you are taller. So all in all, is the 1290R suitable for a new or inexperienced rider? I'm going to be sensible here and say no. Although it's the latest sort of generation in terms of the technology that's available now, I know this is ever changing. The latest generation of bikes have got all this radar and whatnot. This is still very, very modern, and although it's very rideable compared to, well, the same bike, the 990 I have is a 2005, so it's well, no, 15 years sort of difference almost, but it's too powerful, I would say. Although there's plenty there to help you out, that's not going to stop you getting into trouble if you get confused or have a error of judgment. So I'd probably say no. You need to start maybe on something a little bit smaller if you're jumping straight onto this. Obviously, if you're inexperienced, I still consider myself as inexperienced, then yeah, you just got to be sensible. It's as simple as that. I guess I'm fortunate in the fact that I'm the wrong side of the mid-40s, so a lot of the male testosterone has left my body, so I'm not a young 20-something who's always out there screaming the nuts off their bike or car. So if I was in my 20s and I had this as my first bike, I probably wouldn't have got to my 30s. I can't be more honest than that. Whereas you get a bit older and you get a bit wiser, and you're not being a muppet all the time. I have no problem with riding at speed on the right road and in the right circumstances, but 60 mile an hour around country road corners where you don't know what's around the corner, that's where things can go wrong. So it's all down to the mindset and the individual. Yes, an inexperienced rider could jump straight on this. Whether that's the right choice or not, only they can decide. Who am I to say yes or no? But being sensible, I'm going to say no, this probably isn't the best choice of a first bike. So there we have it. There's my first review of 2021. Hope you enjoyed it. It's good to be back. I hope to very soon do a comparison of this versus the 990 Superduke, so we can get a real idea and see how far technology's come on in a relatively short space of time, and compare the two bikes. And although they come out of the same factory, they really are chalk and cheese. I can tell you that already, but it might make for quite interesting viewing. So any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments bar below. If you like, please subscribe, and hopefully there will be another video soon. That's it. Thanks a lot. Take care.